Hey y'all, welcome back to the Insurance Lounge with me, Tanya.
And me, Kristy.
We are your local insurance agent out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and we're here to make insurance a little less boring and way more useful for you because our goal is to share with you what we know so that you can feel more confident about your insurance, so that you can better protect your family, your home, your business, and most certainly your financial future. So, with that said, Christy, what do we have in store for our audience this week?
We got a little game this week. We're going to
Uh-oh.
lighten it up a little bit with a little game of this or that with kind of some um, almost like a frequently asked question kind of thing, but we decided to make it a little more fun than an FAQ.
All righty. Well, let's kick it off then, right? So, one of the most common, and I think our audience can agree with this, is the dilemma between paying for a higher insurance premium and have a lower deductible, or go with a higher deductible and pay a little less. Christy, what do you think?
Yep. I think let's go higher premium. I'd rather pay a few extra bucks monthly than face a big payout in the event of an accident.
Okay, I hear what you're saying. Now, on the other end, personally, this is how I see it, and it was taught to me by my mentor, is if you do have the emergency fund, so if you do have the financial means to come up with a higher deductible when you need to use it, why pay more for insurance, right? For something that might or might not ever happen.
Yep. Yep. I hear you. I hear you. So the bottom line, it's different for everybody, and only you can choose which is right for you. If you cannot cover your deductible, then definitely don't choose that option. Talk with your agent to figure out what the sweet spot is for you.
Absolutely. We're always here
Yeah.
for that.
So my turn. Bundle or shop around?
Ooh, I would say definitely bundle because a lot of time you'll find yourself in a situation where you probably save a little more money by keeping everything together and getting that multi-policy discount.
Mhm.
And plus, if something were to happen, I only have to call one office.
So I hear you, Tanya, but sometimes different carriers can really shine through in different areas, and shopping around can uncover better coverage or better rates on a per policy basis.
That is very true because not all carriers are the same. So we would recommend that, if you already have a policy with one agent, ask that agent to bundle it for you and see if you can save. Worst case scenario, shop it around, do some homework, and get the best rate that you can.
Good call.
All right, Christy, this comes up a lot when we talk about homeowners or really any property policies out there. So, do I want to go with replacement cost or actual cash value policy?
Yeah, this is a good one. I let's talk about actual cash value because it's cheaper up front.
Okay, and that is true. Now, however, Christy, if my house were to be burned down, I'm only going to get the depreciated value, and that might not be enough for me to rebuild my home to where I want it to be. So, I personally would offer replacement cost because I want my house to be rebuilt the way it is now.
Yeah. In truth, so would I. I was just playing along for the sake of the game. I think truthfully, actual cash value only works to me in my mind for a home or a structure that you're not going to rebuild if something happens to it, quite honestly. But the bottom line
Absolutely.
is, again, talk to your agent and figure out which one is best for you.
Absolutely. And I think this is just a little caveat for our listener. Most of our customer would offer replacement costs, right, Christy?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, so double check on that, especially if you're buying a new home and you let your lender refer you to an insurance agent that you really don't talk to or you don't know, and they just sent you back a quote, make sure you double check on that and that you're getting
Absolutely.
replacement costs, right? And not
Yep.
actual cash value. Because I don't think you want to find out what kind of policy you have when something happens to the house.
You definitely don't. You definitely don't. So this or that, scheduled personal property or standard coverage limits?
Hmm. Well, on one hand, I would say schedule it, Christy, because if we're already dealing with a homeowner's policy, a lot of home policy will have that feature built in. So whether it's your jewelry, collectibles like arts or cameras, things like that. Usually if you have nicer things, it's going to exceed the policy limits anyway that comes standard on every home policy. So I would say if you're already talking to your agent, add it on if it makes it easier for you.
Yeah. But on the flip side of that, if you have more, like me, kind of basic stuff, you're talking about mostly maybe costume jewelry, nothing that's over the single item limit in your homeowner's policy, then that makes it less expensive and will cover the things that you have.
Well, that makes absolutely perfect sense, Christy, because I'm in the same boat as you. But the good rule of thumb for our listener is that if you have a specific piece, whether it's fur, it's jewelry, if the value is worth anything over $1,000, get it appraised, get a
Yeah.
schedule. Just know that most homeowners policy, when it comes to specialty items like that, there's a special limit on that. So if it means
Yeah.
something to you, if you want to replace it with the exact kind for that kind of value, just make sure you talk to your agent and get it insured.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
All right. What about this one, Christy? Just getting regular homeowners insurance or home warranty? What's the difference?
Right. I like a home warranty because it does help with wear and tear on things like, AC units and water heaters, those things that are just going to wear over time. And that's typically not going to be covered by your homeowner's policy.
Absolutely. Now, on the other hand, if you only have home warranty and not having homeowners insurance, you might be exposed or your home might be exposed because although home warranty will help cover all your appliances and systems within your home, they actually don't cover anything that's accidental, like fire, storm, or even theft. So really they are not two of the same policy.
Good point, Tanya. Good point. So I think here again, it's probably a matter of maybe both and, not either or. Um, Both can offer you different kinds of assurances. And in the end, it's another talk with your agent and see what's best for you.
Absolutely. And I think, we see it from both sides, right, Christy? A
Sure.
lot of our customer will choose to go without home warranty, and some customer just absolutely love home warranty. And I would say, if you worry about big system issues or you're at a stage in life where you really don't want to have to pay to maintain these systems, a home warranty policy might be a good idea. You're paying a small fee, but if anything breaks down because of wear and tear, you have a backup plan.
Yeah. Yeah. I like a home warranty personally for exactly that. But
Exactly.
moving on to the next this or that. What's your opinion, Tanya? Umbrella policy or no umbrella?
Hmm. I would say we want to consider the umbrella policy because let's be honest, Christy, is for what you get out of it coverage wise, the cost is a lot of time absolutely pennies, right? It will
Mhm.
cost a
Mhm.
dollar a day, $2 a day, if that, and it's going to cover you for big lawsuits and millions of dollars. And even if you don't own anything, it can protect your future income.
Yep, yep, I get you. But if you rent, currently in your life, you don't own much, you might not need it yet. I think of an umbrella more as, protection for assets that you've accumulated. And so it's not necessarily right for everybody just yet.
Absolutely. Now, if you do have assets and you're wondering umbrella or not umbrella, there are some key things where is really is a sign that you might want to talk to your agent about whether or not having an umbrella policy is right for you. Like, for example, you paid off your home. If you
Hmm.
have young drivers, because
Oh, for
the lack of
sure.
experience, you have a greater risk that they might get into a big accident. Or in general, if you have a lot of asset to protect, and as long as you drive, you might want to talk to your agent about an umbrella policy.
Yep, I agree.
All right, Christy, this is a fun one for you. Accident forgiveness or no accident forgiveness?
Well, so speaking as one who is getting ready to have a young driver, I'm going to go with accident forgiveness and save my rate after the almost inevitable fender bender. So I would say yes.
Absolutely. Now, in their certain situation, if you have, really, you don't really have young drivers in the household, you've been very safe, you have not had accidents in years, you might never see the benefit of having that claim waived, right? And in the
Yeah,
meantime, you're
yeah.
paying extra.
Yeah, fair enough. That's a good point. So again, ask your agent how your carrier handles things. Sometimes you might, it might come with accident forgiveness up to certain limits and such. And if it's not, it might be worth adding depending on your situation. Yeah.
Absolutely. And I would add to that too, Christy, is, feel free to ask your agent to give you a what if, right? Because a lot of time it doesn't even cost anything to add it
Yeah,
on.
yeah. So inexpensive. So here's a good one. Here's a good one. And continuing on the auto coverage questions. New car replacement or standard total loss settlement?
Ooh, definitely I would say new car replacement, especially if you are buying a brand new car. As we
Mhm.
know, the moment we drive it off the lot, the value would appreciate very fast. So I would say yes on that one for new cars.
Yeah, I tend to kind of agree with you, but again, it only makes sense for newer cars. Your 10-year-old, lower value car, and especially something that you don't owe on any longer, not the right fit for a new car replacement policy.
Absolutely agree with you there, especially if you have to take out a loan on the car, right, Christy? And it's newer, we might want to make sure that loan is covered. Now,
Right.
unless you talk to your dealership or whoever helped you set up the loan to take out gap coverage, then maybe you don't need a car replacement.
Right, exactly. It's kind of a
Mhm.
yeah, it kind of is a replacement for gap coverage. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Absolutely. All right, how about this one? Um, Getting rental car coverage or paying it yourself?
Yeah,
In
on
case
on
of an
this one,
accident, I should
in case
clarify.
of an
I'm
accident,
sorry.
right? Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
I'm gonna say pay at the counter. Chances are I've got another car to drive if I'm in an accident, my car has to be in the shop, and I don't wanna pay that extra in my premium every month. I'll just pay for a rental car at the counter if I have to.
Absolutely. And I can also see it from the other side too, right? So if I have a hard time in my budget and I cannot come up with an extra 30, 40, or even $50 a day, depending on what kind of car I'm renting, versus having it built into my insurance policy where the insurance company will either cut me a check or just help pay for the rental car itself,
Sure.
I might want to
Yep.
go with that.
Yeah. Add it up before your next trip. And it's, cheaper and easier to activate it before you need it than once you do. I always say people never want this coverage until they need it. So, you know, look at it ahead of time. Talk with your agent.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Moving on to another this or that. And this one's kind of more about, just mindset and choices. Would you go with a captive agent or an independent?
Ooh, well, I'm gonna be a biased person on this one. I don't know why, but captive agent, obviously, because they tend to know their product. Usually, captive agent will be primarily appointed by just one insurance company, and
Right.
most of the time they can only sell one insurance company. But the good thing about that, when you are not a jack of all trade, is that you can actually become the master of one thing. So that agent
Right.
might know more of the ins and outs of the product so that they can advise you accordingly.
True, true. Whereas an independent agent is going to have more options and multiple carriers to choose from, so can possibly get a different rate, at least a better rate maybe for different budgets and more to choose from.
Absolutely. So I think in this one, there's no right or wrong. I think it's just up to your preference of who you want to
Yeah,
work with. But either way, when you are picking an agent, um, make sure you pick someone that is going to take the time to talk to you through the policy that you're getting, and they can educate you and they can help look out for you for some of the pitfalls that you might not see. So I don't think you can go wrong with that, but just make sure you pick someone that who's willing to take the time and walk you through a policy.
very good point.
All right. This is a very popular one. I think it's more and more going to be the way of the future. So, Christy, get a quote online or talk to an agent.
I'm all over this one. Online is quick and easy. I can see my numbers and decide what I want to do.
Absolutely, and I can agree with you on that. W In my experience, what we see, and I'm sure you see that all the time in your
Oh, yeah.
office, is that an online quote might be quick, but also you might miss out on some discounts, or coverages, that you're not familiar with or that you really don't have anyone to help kinda bounce ideas off and see if that's something that's right for you.
Yeah. Yeah, this is another one where I played along for the game because I do not ever recommend that people do their own quotes online. As an agent, I guess that's expected of me, but it is right for some people, but the bottom line is confirm with an agent before you put your money on the table because you want to make sure that you understand what you're buying, in my
Absolutely,
opinion.
Christy. And then there's another insight to that too, and it's not because we're agents, okay? A lot of time, insurance companies will only show you a portion of what they're offering. So if you have a lot more asset to lose and you're looking for better coverage and you're looking for more of a comprehensive coverage to make sure that it gives you that peace of mind, you might not be able to find that online. It's just too much risk
Absolutely.
exposure for a carrier. So unless you go through and talk to one of their agents, you will not see those options available online. So just a
Yeah, that's another
little
very good point.
added
Very
bonus.
good.
Yep.
Yep. So along the same kind of lines, question for you, this or that. Submit your claim on the app or online or by talking with an agent.
Ooh, this is a hard one because I do like the app too. Um, I think for minor thing, Christy, I'm all about the app, right? Like if it's a quick fender bender or my windshield is chipped, I might just opt to go online without having to call my agent about it.
Yep, I can
In that
completely
case, it'll
agree
be
with you
myself.
on that. I can completely agree with you on that. But I would say for bigger things, for things where you even have a question maybe about whether to claim it or not, always talk with your agent first.
Absolutely. So a good rule of thumbs, guy, if it's just a few $100, something very small, something very quick, like for a small little auto claim, sure, go online. But if you find yourself in a dilemma, not knowing what to do, or how to do it, or especially if it's your first time having a claim, whether it's home
Oh,
or
yeah.
auto, right, Christy? Call an
Yeah,
agent.
absolutely.
Call an
Absolutely.
agent to get help. All right. Annual policy review, Christy, or just set it and forget it.
We've talked about this before, and I am a set it and forget it kind of gal. Um, you know, with the caveat, I guess, that as long as everything is going okay. But I've got enough on my plate. I don't need to add anything to it. I want it to just be there, and then I don't want to think about it again.
Exactly. And I hear what you're saying, Christy. And I want to say, and you might agree with me on this, probably 90% of our audience and our customers feel that way,
Yeah.
right? Set it and forget it because life is busy. Now, uh, unfortunately, the reality is that that's how many people end up being underinsured. Life changes, the economy changed, right? So if we took out a policy back in 1987 for our home, and that might not have kept up with the time. So
Hmm.
I would say if you could check in with your agent once a year, 15, 20 minutes. You can even do it the lazy way. Just send them an email and say, "Hey, Christy, my policy is coming up for renewal. Can you take a look at it for me? And we can schedule a quick call and we can go over it."
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Look at it and tell me if I need anything different. The truth is, um, your agent can definitely look at it and say, "Oh, you're missing a discount here, you're missing an opportunity there." But that quick call is the really important part because we don't necessarily know how life has changed for you this year. So, it's not going to take a long time. Do the quick 15-minute review. It can end up saving you money and it can
absolutely.
save your risk.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yep. How about this one, Tanya? Paperless billing or paper statements?
Ooh. Um, Paperless because we already get so many mails in our mailbox or junk mail, I should say. So it kind of get lost a little bit. So I'd rather have access to all of my policy information online.
Yeah, and it is nice to have it, available online, but I still like paper. I still have files. I still want to be able to, mark down that I paid that one, and so forth. So,
And I hear you, and I think this one is going to be up to our audience, right? Whatever method and process that works the best for you. We have some customers that are just on paper only, but you know that by the date and the time that customer will call in probably a month before the bill is due, and they will take care of it. So that works for them because they have a system in place. So really, pick whatever works best for you. Pick whatever that you will check on the most. That's what we will recommend.
yeah. And as long as, to me, I think as long as you're consistent with one method, that's probably what's going to work for you.
Exactly, exactly. So here's a fun one. It has to do with money. Do we want to pay in full or is it better to go monthly?
Hmm. I would say paying monthly is easier on cash flow. So, especially for families, where you've got children, you've got bills, grocery bills, and sports bills, and all the things, school bills, all the things. So, paying monthly can make that a little bit easier on you.
Absolutely. I can totally see where you're coming from with that. Now, a lot of our customer didn't know this, but many carriers will offer an extra 5 or 10% discount if you could pay in full. So make sure you check with your agent. Because at the end of the day, Christy, to me, free money is free money, whether it's $1 or it's $100, right? I'll take it.
Absolutely, absolutely. So I think, the call to action here is if you can swing it, go ahead and pay in full. You will save some money that way. If your budget does not allow for that at this time, set up auto payments so you don't forget get those payment due dates.
Absolutely. And a lot of time when you are set up on auto pay, you get a little discount with it too.
Yep, that's true too. That's true too. So there you have it, guys. Insurance myths busted, done and dusted. Choices explained, and a few friendly arguments along the way. If you're still not sure which this or that is right for you, then call one of us and we're happy to help.
Absolutely. Until next time, we'll see
So
ya.
long.